when everyone thought Claudia Flynn's story was finished. She shocked the streets of Chicago with a single pull of the trigger. Power, fear, and survival came crashing together in one explosive moment that no one expected. This was not just another shootout, this was Claudia, proving that she refuses to be anyone's victim. Claudia has always walked a dangerous line between ambition and survival. Born into the Flynn family, she grew up in power, but unlike her father or brother, her path was never simple. She wanted respect in a world that constantly underestimated her. Throughout the battles of the past seasons, Claudia has faced betrayal, heartbreak, and the crushing weight of responsibility. By the time we reach this part of Season 3, she is isolated and hunted. The enemies are closing in, her allies are thinning out, and her decisions carry heavier consequences than ever before. The streets of Chicago are unforgiving, and Claudia knows that one wrong move could end her life. Shanti has been circling like a predator, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Their relationship has always been complicated, built on shifting alliances and mutual suspicion. Shanti represents the kind of ruthless force Claudia has been trying to match but also avoid. Every step Claudia takes now is a test of whether she has the strength to fight or the weakness to fall. As the story builds, Claudia isn't just running from danger, she is trying to redefine her place in the city's bloody hierarchy. She has been underestimated, dismissed as a side player. But inside her burns a fire to prove she can not only survive but dominate. Yet at this point in the season, the odds are stacked against her. Surrounded by enemies and betrayed by trust she once placed, Claudia must think faster and act sharper than ever before. This is where the tension grows unbearable. We see Claudia pushed into corners both physically and mentally. Her world is shrinking, and every decision feels like a gamble with death. When Shanti finally steps forward, it is not just a meeting between two women, it is the collision of two forces. Shanti embodies control, power, and intimidation. Claudia, on the other hand, appears weakened, outmatched, and seconds away from being erased. What no one realizes, though, is that Claudia's survival instinct has reached its peak, and in this moment, she is about to show the streets of Chicago a side of herself that no one believed she had. The air is heavy when Claudia and Shanti finally come face to face. It feels less like a simple meeting and more like destiny pulling them into the same room, forcing them to settle what's been brewing for far too long. Shanti doesn't walk in quietly. She moves with authority, every step echoing like a threat. She's built her name on strength, confidence, and the kind of sharpness that cuts through fear. Standing across from Claudia, she looks like the predator circling its prey, eyes cold and unshaken. Claudia, in contrast, looks smaller in this moment, almost fragile to anyone watching from the outside. Her body carries exhaustion. Her face shows the pressure of battles she's fought both in the streets and in her own family. But beneath that thin layer of vulnerability is something no one notices right away. A storm of determination. She doesn't flinch as Shanti closes the distance. She doesn't step back. Every part of her body screams tension, yet she stands her ground. Shanti begins to talk, her voice calm but sharp, every word dripping with confidence. She mocks Claudia, reminding her that she has no army left, no safety net, no brother to step in and save her. Each line feels like a blade pressed against Claudia's skin. Sharp, precise, meant to wound without spilling blood just yet. Shanti doesn't just want to beat Claudia, she wants to break her spirit, to show her that she never belonged in this world of violence and power. But Claudia listens in silence. She doesn't fight back with words, because words are meaningless now. Her silence unsettles Shanti, even if only for a split second. For all her power, Shanti can't read what Claudia is hiding behind her eyes. There's a spark there, quiet but undeniable. It's the kind of spark that has carried Claudia through betrayal, through the collapse of her family's empire, through nights when her own reflection looked like a stranger. The room seems to shrink as the tension grows thicker. Shanti leans in, her words sharper now, promising Claudia's end. Every sentence drips with certainty that she has already won. Yet in Claudia's mind, something different is happening. She replays every betrayal, every insult, every moment she was pushed aside or underestimated. Her silence isn't fear, it's focus. She's studying Shanti, waiting for the smallest crack, the briefest opening. This confrontation isn't just about two women standing in opposition, it's about survival versus dominance. Shanti wants to dominate, to crush Claudia under her heel. Claudia wants to survive, but not as a shadow of herself. She wants to rise, to prove that she is not the fragile daughter of a crumbling empire, but a woman who can claim her own throne. Shanti steps closer, her face inches away, daring Claudia to react. The tension between them is electric, filling every corner of the room. It's predator against prey, or so it seems. Shanti's words continue to slice, but Claudia's silence grows heavier, more dangerous. What no one expects is that silence can sometimes be louder than a scream. More powerful than any threat. In that silence lies the shift of power. Shanti believes she's in control, but Claudia knows she's already chosen her next move. The confrontation doesn't explode yet, it lingers. It builds. Like a storm pulling in all the wind before unleashing its fury. This is the calm before the gunshot, the fragile pause before fate takes its final step forward. And in that moment, as their eyes lock and the weight of the city seems to press down on them both, one truth becomes clear. Only one of them is walking out the same person they were before this meeting. The silence between Claudia and Shanti doesn't last long, but in that short span of heartbeats, the entire world seems to hold still. Claudia's mind sharpens. Every sound becomes louder. The faint hum of the city outside, the steady tick of a clock, the echo of Shanti's breath. Shanti leans forward, ready to strike with words or fists, but what she doesn't see is the shift in Claudia's eyes. For the first time, Claudia no longer looks cornered, she looks certain. This moment is not a coincidence. It's the boiling point of everything Claudia has endured. She has been underestimated her entire life, painted as fragile, dismissed as unfit to lead. She has lost friends, allies, and even family members to this brutal game of power. Each loss carved into her soul, shaping her into someone colder, harder, and less forgiving. And now, as Shanti towers over her, Claudia realizes something: she doesn't have to win every battle. She just has to survive this one. Survival is victory, and survival demands action. Shanti raises her voice now. Louder, harsher, almost enjoying the idea of breaking Claudia down one last time before finishing her. She steps too close, invading every inch of Claudia's space, certain she has already won. That arrogance so familiar in the streets of Chicago becomes Shanti's blind spot, because in her overconfidence, she forgets that even prey can bite when it's backed into a corner. Claudia's hand doesn't shake. Her breathing doesn't quicken. Her fear has already burned itself out, leaving only clarity. In one smooth, deliberate motion, she pulls the gun she has hidden all along. For a brief instant, time freezes. Shanti's eyes widen, just slightly, the first flicker of doubt crossing her face. She realizes, too late, that Claudia has been waiting for this exact opening. The gunshot splits the air like thunder. It's not just a sound, it's a declaration. Claudia pulls the trigger, and Shanti staggers back. The confidence draining from her body as quickly as the strength in her legs. The shock is visible in her eyes, disbelief written across her face. For someone so used to control, being on the receiving end of power feels foreign, almost impossible. But for Claudia, the shot is more than self-defense, it's transformation. In that single act, she steps into a new identity. No longer the daughter fighting for scraps of respect, no longer the underdog clinging to survival. She has taken control with her own hands. Her silence throughout the confrontation was not weakness, but calculation. And when the time came, she delivered the one move no one thought she would dare to make. The room is still ringing with the echo of the gunshot. Yet the quiet that follows feels heavier than the noise. Claudia doesn't celebrate. She doesn't smile. Her face is hard, her eyes unblinking as she watches Shanti stumble. This isn't triumph, it's survival. And survival, in Claudia's world, always comes with blood. Shanti tries to speak, her voice weak, almost broken. The predator has become the prey, and Claudia stands over her, the gun steady in her hand. The power dynamic has completely shifted. Just moments ago, Shanti was certain she held all the cards. Now, with a single pull of the trigger, Claudia has rewritten the entire game. This twist isn't just about Shanti falling, it's about Claudia rising. The woman who was once dismissed as weak has proven herself to be deadly, capable, and fearless when it matters most. The gunshot is more than an ending, it's the start of a new chapter. A chapter where Claudia is no longer defined by the Flynn family name or the shadow of her enemies, but by the choices she makes and the blood she spills. As Shanti collapses to the ground, the city outside continues moving, unaware that its balance of power has just shifted forever. For Claudia, this is not the end of the fight. If anything, it's the beginning of a storm. Because in Chicago, every bullet comes with a price. And Claudia has just signed her name in fire. The smoke from the gun lingers in the air, curling in slow spirals as if the room itself is trying to hold on to the moment. Shanti's body hits the floor with a heavy thud, the sound echoing longer than it should, stretching time into something unbearable. For Claudia, the seconds after the shot feel both endless and fleeting. Her ears ring with the echo of the gunfire, her pulse steady but cold. She doesn't flinch, doesn't turn away. She stands over the fallen figure like a statue carved out of steel. But inside, a storm is raging. Claudia knows there is no going back from this. The instant she pulled that trigger, she crossed a line that cannot be erased. She didn't just kill Shanti. She killed the last illusion that she was still her father's daughter. That she could survive in this city without becoming what she swore she never wanted to be. She has stepped fully into the role of executioner. And the weight of that choice hangs heavy in the silence. Shanti's eyes flutter in her last moments. Still searching for control. Still clinging to the dominance that once defined her. But Claudia does not offer words. Does not kneel beside her. Does not give her the satisfaction of comfort or explanation. For years, Claudia was silenced, talked over, underestimated. Now, the silence is hers to wield. Her refusal to speak is the final act of power, denying Shanti even a last taste of victory. Outside that room though, the city is already shifting. News of Shanti's fall will spread like wildfire. Chicago thrives on gossip, fear, and power plays. The streets have long operated under the belief that Shanti was untouchable, a force no one dared to challenge. By ending her, Claudia hasn't just survived, she's sent a shockwave that will ripple through every corner of the drug game. Allies will question their loyalty, enemies will plot revenge, and opportunists will circle like vultures around a fresh carcass. Claudia knows this. She knows that with one pull of the trigger, she hasn't ended her problems, she's multiplied them. Shanti may be gone, but the enemies who loved her, feared her, or depended on her, will not stay silent. Retaliation is inevitable. Claudia has lit a fire, and fires in Chicago spread fast. But she also understands something else. Fear changes the game. By surviving this moment, by daring to shoot the one woman no one thought she could, Claudia has rebranded herself in blood. She is no longer seen as weak, no longer dismissed as a figure in the background. She is now a name that demands attention. Yet survival is not without scars. As Claudia stands over Shanti's lifeless form, she feels both stronger and emptier. Strength, because she proved herself. Emptier, because survival always comes with a cost. Every face she has had to erase, every bond she has had to sever, pulls her further away from who she once was. The woman who wanted legitimacy, respect, and independence is slowly being replaced by someone who thrives in shadows. Someone who knows that power is measured in bodies left behind. The room feels heavier now, as if it carries the ghosts of everyone Claudia has lost. But she doesn't allow herself to crumble. She steadies her hand, lowers the gun, and takes one long breath. For Claudia, hesitation is no longer an option. If she hesitates, she dies. If she regrets, she weakens. And in this world, weakness is a luxury no one survives. When she finally steps away, leaving Shanti behind, she carries with her not just the weight of a kill, but the birth of a new reputation. The city will whisper about this night. Some will call it betrayal, some will call it madness, but everyone will agree on one thing. Claudia Flynn is no longer running from death, she is walking hand in hand with it. The aftermath isn't quiet, it's a storm waiting to break. And Claudia, whether she's ready or not, has just become the eye of it. The shot that took down Shanti is more than a single moment of violence, it is the opening act of an entirely new chapter for Claudia Flynn. And for Chicago itself. In the world of Power Book 4, Force, no death is ever simple, and no action exists in isolation. Shanti's fall is not the end of a feud, but the ignition of something larger. Claudia may have survived, but survival always demands payment. And the streets are already calculating the cost. The first ripple will be loyalty. Shanti was not just a rival. She was a leader with influence, connections, and a loyal following. Her soldiers, her business partners, and those who depended on her stability will not simply scatter. Many will burn with rage, hunting for revenge, demanding that Claudia's blood be spilled to even the balance. Others, however, may see opportunity in the chaos. With Shanti gone, her empire is vulnerable, and vultures thrive on weakness. Claudia knows this better than anyone. She understands that in the coming days, she will not just be fighting to stay alive, she will be fighting to claim what Shanti left behind before anyone else does. The second ripple will be fear. Chicago runs on reputation, and Claudia has just shattered hers in the most brutal way possible. She was once seen as fragile, the least threatening of the Flynn family, someone easy to overlook. That illusion no longer exists. By putting a bullet into Shanti, Claudia has proven that she is not only capable of violence but willing to wield it when it matters most. Fear is currency in these streets, and Claudia has just deposited more than most can handle. Enemies will think twice before underestimating her again. But fear is a double-edged sword. While it may keep some away, it will also draw others closer, men and women hungry to test her resolve, to see if Claudia's courage was a single act of desperation or the birth of a new queen. The third ripple is personal. Claudia's actions will not just shape her place in the city but will also strain every relationship she still holds. Family has always been complicated for her, but now it will grow even darker. Vic may see her choice as reckless, another move that drags the Flynn name deeper into ruin. Others may quietly respect her, but trust will be scarce. Claudia has chosen her path, and it is one paved in blood. The question now is whether she will stand alone on it or find unlikely allies who respect her fire more than her name. And then there are the ghosts, because every death in this game leaves behind unfinished business. Shanti's allies will not let her name fade quietly. Revenge is certain, but so is betrayal. Somewhere in the city, someone will smile at Shanti's downfall, eager to use Claudia's victory as leverage for their own plans. The chessboard is shifting, and Claudia's move has flipped the table upside down. Season 3 will not be about whether Claudia can survive one rival, but whether she can survive the storm of enemies, opportunists, and former friends who now view her as both a threat and a target. Perhaps the most haunting implication, however, is what this act means for Claudia herself. Every choice changes her. Every kill strips away another piece of her old self. Shooting Shanti wasn't just about survival, it was about transformation. Claudia has entered a stage of her life where hesitation is dead, mercy is a weakness, and survival is victory at any cost. She is not just reacting to the city anymore, she is shaping it. That shift will define the rest of Season 3, as Claudia is forced to answer one question over and over again. How much of herself is she willing to lose in order to win? The city is watching, waiting, whispering. Some are afraid, some are plotting, and some are cheering quietly in the shadows. Claudia Flynn has drawn blood, and Chicago is hungry to see if she can keep feeding the streets or if the streets will finally swallow her whole. One thing is certain: the rules have changed, and Claudia is the one who changed them. The stage is set, and the storm is coming. In this season, Claudia's bullet is not the end of a fight, it's the beginning of a war.